Hi, Sam Tobin, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we're coming with a traditional gospel piano tutorial. And we're going to use a song that was requested by one of our Patreon members, Trouble in My Way. And we're going to see how many chords we can cover from the key of C. We may go from the key of C and go up to the key of F. So, Trouble in My Way. If you've taken our course before, you know about all of the chords that are available to you from the different chord families. If we start in the key of C, and as you can see, within the key of C, we have so many different chords that we could be pulling from, but we'll come back to this page just a second. We'll go back to Trouble in My Way. Now, we're going to open up with what I like to call the jazz type of chords. As you can see, this chord, it's called a G minor 6, but the minute you add the lower note to it, it becomes a C9. So it's still in the C chord family. So trouble in my, I gotta get that right. Trouble, again, when you got the melody correct, that's where I got caught up at. Trouble in, because I'm changing the chords. Trouble in my way. That's your right hand. The B flat, D, E, and the G. I have to cry some. We're going to give you this jazz turn. And the 4 on the F. Trouble in. And we're giving you the inversions of a minor 6 chord. Trouble in my way. You have to cry some. And we'll give you the root chord. So we gave you this chord. Trouble in my way. You got to cry sometime. Trouble in my way. You have to cry sometime. The turn chord is right here. G plus 5, or the whole tone, half whole tone scale with that 5 right there, right back into you lie awake at night trying to get these lyrics, but that's all right. And the gospel crawl. Let me slow that down. One more time. C7, B major 7, B major add to E minor 6, back to the C7, back into that F9 or the C minor 6. Jesus will fix it. Jesus, he will fix it. Jesus, he will fix it. Melody at the top. After a while. So now you see those chords. These chords are coming directly from the chords that we shared earlier in our series from right here. Of course, we are pulling them from different keys. But if you look at both charts, in fact, look at all the charts, you will see these chords as they're shown in the key of C. But this chord will show up within the actual G minor family. And you add that because in the C major scale, G is one of the notes in the C major scale, and as I've often said, you have license to borrow chords from any key in that scale as long as it matches your melody. Now we're borrowing this chord again. Once again, we are borrowing this chord from E flat, which is the C minor scale, because it fits our narrative. Now, we're borrowing this chord from the F chord family, but the minor, C minor. Why? Because C minor is part of the C minor chord, can be borrowed from the F major scale. Trouble in the turn chord, lay awake at night. That's alright. You see the chords? You can match them up there. See what chord we're in, find the C minor chord from the chart, and G's. You gotta look at the charts to find these chords. Different turn chord after a while. Now, I realize we have a lot of musicians that are taking this series of instructions from other sites, and it may be a little confusing because I may not call out the same number system that the other content creators use. That is their path of instruction. My path is going to teach you the melody, which is scales, chords, which are from the number system, and progressions is how you place chords underneath a melody. So I was looking to see if I had a drum beat I could put with this. I'm going to pick one of the drum patterns that is of a jazz nature, because I've often said gospel is so synonymous with how jazz sounds, is that they're basically brother and sister in some sense. They are that close. So we're going to pick a jazz kit where we can practice these chords. Now, let me just reset the tempo. This is the jazz kit playing. I'm changing the tempo. Trouble in my way. So I want to change somewhat the rhythm just a bit. There we go, better. Trouble in my way. Want to cry sometime. Trouble in my way. Want to cry sometime. Take a wake at night. That's alright. Jesus, he will fix. So when you get that jazz style down, you'll be able to, as I say, feel where a song is going to go. You know it's going to be in the 1, then you know it's going to be in the 4, you know it's going to be back in the 1, back into the 4, then 4, 1. How do you want to get there? 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 4, 6, 2, 5, 1. Now Now that's the most you will hear me talk to a number system, because I use the lowest note, which is the bass note, to give me a root position for each note. Because as you change keys, sometimes the positions will change. A 2-5-1, 2-5-1 in a different key, but in the key that you're in becomes a 7-3-6. So I try to speak more and let you see the actual chord name in the key that we're in. So this lesson is to help musicians get comfortable with the type of songs they may just run into in their local church. Usually a male chorus will start off troubled in my way. So now if you were going to change keys and go up to the key of D flat, well, it's the same concept, but what happens is that you now have a different fingering technique that you're going to use. Now, of course, we're not showing our hands in this video because we're using Studio B, but if we were to go up to D flat, if you took our course on scales and how to formulate the notes, you will know how to form your fingers. So the chord now, the name changes. That is now our chord. Same chord names, but just in a different key. Jesus, he will fix it. Jesus, he will fix it. After a while. So we're going to give you a little bit of this in the key of D flat, and we're going to let you go back to this video and practice. Here we go. Trying to catch the timing. Trouble in my. That is your traditional gospel piano tutorial. Take care.